What's up, people? This is Who That Edition, your favorite host, Trill Quack. And we back, baby. For this episode, we're going to do something a little different. Not really too many game recaps. We're going to talk about 6 things that we have learned so far through this college football season. And we're in week 9. So let's get into it. 1 thing that we learned so far from this college football season is Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, and Carson Beck are not first-round talent quarterbacks. All 3 of them coming into the season were, just expected to be or supposed to be first-round tier type quarterbacks, and they have not played like that this season. All 3 of them turn the ball over at a high alarming rate. They all fold against good teams, against good defenses. They all doesn't throw the ball good downfield. And the only 2 real good, first-round talent quarterbacks that have been proven that this season is Shedeur and Cam Ward. But Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, and Jalen Milroe were given golden opportunities to prove, that they are first-round quarterbacks. They are surrounded with talent, all have great head coaches, and they just fold. That sometimes they're the reason their team loses, or sometimes they're the reason their team might even end these close type of games. And they make a lot of bad decisions, make a lot of bad throws. And it's always about when do you show up and when do you have, your best games. And I don't want to see a best game against the Utahs and the, trash schools, but what you do against the Alabamas, the Georgias, against Texas and things like that. And Milroe, Carson Beck, and Quinn Ewers, they all fold and don't show up on these big games, and they actually play bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, Quinn Ewers was kind of the reason why Texas lost to Georgia. Carson Beck was the reason why Georgia lost to Alabama. Jalen Milroe was kind of the reason why they lost to Vanderbilt. No, their defense was bad, but also, his interceptions wasn't helpful. Then his play against this week against Tennessee, wasn't bad, wasn't good. So those guys are not first-round picks, and the only 2 quarterbacks I believe that are first-round talents are Shedeur and Cam Ward. Second thing we learned so far in this college football season is Coach Prime in Colorado is legit. They are legit. I was waiting to say this. I wanted to, proclaim it after the UCF win. But UCF is decent, right? They're not the best team. They're decent. But 5-2 record, that's a great record. Last season, you only won 4 games. You have a favorable schedule. You can win. I could definitely guarantee at least 3 more wins. So that's 8 wins. Big jump up from last season. Then these last 2 games, Travis Hunter hasn't been out there, hasn't been himself, and you're still putting up points. Your defense still getting stopped, so you're showing that it's not just a Shedeur and Travis Hunter team. And then the ability to get these transfers, and they're becoming great. Your leading sack leader is a transfer, B.J. Green. Your second and your third leading receivers are LeJohntay Weston and Will Shepherd, transfer guys. Your 2 linebackers, Wester and B.J. and Hill, tackling leaders are transfer guys. Then you have a freshman on the left tackle, true freshman playing outstanding, and Seaton that you recruited. Then you have the cornerback, freshman you recruited, Hood. He's been playing unbelievable. You go and get guys that fit your scheme, and you're showing that you can build a team. You know what you're doing. You're not just, just pulling guys out of the transfer portal, or just, pulling guys that you may have coached back in the day or things like that. You're showing you can build a team. You can, you have a system felt out, and the trust and the great decision of hiring these 2 new play callers. I was heavy on both of them early in the season, Pat Sherman and Robert Livingston, but both of them have shown up greatly this year. Each game, I think they have gotten better, and they have gotten the feel of their players, and now they have a groove, and they got it figured out. This Colorado team has got it figured out. Big game this week against Cincinnati, but that's the second thing we learned so far in this college football season. Third, we learned Oregon should be the college football national championship favorites right now. They should most definitely be the favorites. They should get, had the favorite type of odds and be the favorite for the win in the national championship so far. Right, you beat Ohio State. in a close game, but you know your offense plays well. That was your best game, and you played up to your competition. So then you have most would say a letdown game against Purdue, right? You seen how Alabama let kind of that game really alter their season, what they did against Vanderbilt. You seen Georgia kind of come out slow against, you know, like Kentucky's, and you see a bunch of these bigger schools, you know, come out slow and either lose or hang tight with these lower tier schools. But no, you go out there and you smash Purdue in the mouth 35-0. Which your Purdue team is known for beating these top-ranked teams. They're known, you know, they beat Ohio State a couple years back. They're known for that. That's kind of where they make their bread and butter, by beating these schools they're not supposed to. And they become, you know, a little popular, and fame gets, you know, to them for their week. But no, you go out there, you smash Purdue in the mouth, beat them 35-0 as well. So that just shows, you know, you don't have the letdown in you. Dan Lanning is getting those boys ready to play each and every week. You're still undefeated. You have the best quarterback in the top 5 for the AP polls. You can argue Will Howard, but I would take Dillon Gabriel over him. I told you about Cam Ward's team's not in the top 5, so I won't take him over Cam Ward, but Cam Ward's team's not top 5, so Dillon is the best quarterback in the top 5. You have 2 top receivers that are crazy. You have your tight end Ferguson that are crazy. Your defensive line, like, you did that good against the Ohio State team and that Purdue team without Jordan Branch. So him coming back would be a big bolster to your D-line. I love your cornerback, Muhammad. Like I said, Dan Lanning's getting those boys ready. The run game with James and Jordan has been great. Dillon Gabriel he's cut out the red zone interceptions. He threw an interception against Purdue, but cut out the red zone interception, so that's big and that's good. And you guys have just looked, you know, you guys have figured it out. I told you know, the audience in the pod that you guys were going to figure it out sooner than later. And you figured it out 2 great games in a row. And you guys should definitely be the favorite. Oregon Ducks are the favorite, as to me right now, to win the national championship. 4th thing we learned so far in this college football season is Alabama's not a championship contender team. I know, you know, with Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck, I think those 2 teams can maybe still win the championship, Texas and Georgia, but I don't think Alabama can. Right? The loss of Vanderbilt was bad, right? That game got exposed, but your defense and your, you know, being able to give up those long drives, and, you know, your offense don't, you know, come out. They do come out there and score fast, but give up those long drives and not being able to get off the field is just the recipe for disaster, and that's exactly what Bama defense have shown, really since that second half against Georgia. Right? You barely beat South Carolina. I know South Carolina, you know, D-line is good, but that's really it, you know? They don't really have much at the quarterback spot. Their playmakers aren't really that great, but their D-line is great, yes, but that shouldn't have wrecked that game. You beat them by 2 points. They was, you know, maybe a good quarterback away from tying that ball game up, and then who knows what happens in overtime, right? The loss of Tennessee was, I think, the nail in the coffin. You got 2 losses. One against a bad team, one against a good team. That game was, you know, low scoring. You only scored 17 points. You're supposed to be a high-flying offense. Your defense only gave up 24 points, yes, but, you know, ultimately it wasn't enough, right? Not American football in that game. Like I said, your defense cannot get stops. Their defense has been getting beat multiple games. It's been the run game, it's been the pass game, right? Tennessee was the run game. Samson ran for, I think, 200 yards. Vanderbilt was kind of doing whatever they wanted. South Carolina was throwing the ball deep. Your defense just can never get off the field on crucial downs, and that's, like I said, recipe for disaster. Then the Miro and DeBoer, the connection is not there. I thought Miro and DeBoer would be good. I thought DeBoer would be able to help him, you know, become a better passer. And it looked like that in the beginning of the season when they were playing lesser opponents, which I should have accounted for. But once they got into the thick of the SEC schedule, Miro hasn't looked good lately. He has not looked good. Like I said earlier, played himself out of a first-round type of quarterback to me. But I'm still a fan of DeBoer. I hope personally that they get it together. But so far, they have not shown to be championship type level contender teams, right? It's a bunch of teams. Texas, I would take Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon. Shoot, even LSU. above Bama to win the championship. And last thing we've learned so far in this college football season is Indiana is a college football playoff team. Indiana is a college football playoff team. Right? They're 7-0. Their offense is legit. They've scored 31, 77, 42, 52, 42, 41, 56. Their defense has been picking it up. They come off a great defensive game against Nebraska, you know, the Mahomes clone. So Indiana is legit, right? But then they have a favorable schedule to end the season. They got Washington next week. Then they got Michigan State. Then they got Michigan. Ohio State is the only tough game I see. Then they end the season with Purdue. So if they win the rest of those out and only lose to Ohio State, I think they definitely still get in the college football playoffs. With, you know, a good amount of teams have 2 losses. They only have 1 against maybe they ranked 4 right now. Maybe Ohio State with maybe 2 or 3 by then. But 1 loss against the 4th ranked team in the country, I think shouldn't hurt your chance of the college football playoffs. So this Indiana team is legit, man. This offense is high flying. They get the ball downfield. And they play great. So yeah, Indiana has a football team, people. But those are the top 5 things that I believe I've learned from this college football season. Be sure to tune in as we get into week 10, man. Week 9 of the season. Previews and picks coming up. Tune in. I'm your favorite host. You know what I keep it. 2 things, true, real. Peace.